the F files. The answer is out there.
The Microsoft Fabric Certification Podcast with Kevin and Frank.
Episode 14, Fabric Confidential.
I have a question. Your company is implementing a new data governance strategy using Microsoft Fabric. The data warehouse contains various tables with sensitive information that must be protected from unauthorized access. You need to ensure only authorized medical personnel can access the medical history column in the patients table. What should you use? Select only one answer. A. Column level security. B. Dynamic data masking. C. Row level security. D. Workspace roles.
Hey Kevin, how you doing?
Good, thanks Frank, and yourself?
Fantastic, thank you very much. So, we have another question on warehouses and on security, which is cool because this is, last episode we talked about this topic as well, and now we will talk on this from a different perspective. So, okay. What we have to do in this case is we have to ensure that only authorized medical personnel can access the medical history column in the patients table. So let's talk a little bit about what is the difference here against our last session where we are talking about masking data. So what's the difference?
What is the difference? Well, the main difference is, and it may be our last one, depending on what order people are listening to our podcasts, etc. So, dynamic data masking is where you hide, obfuscate some of the characters that are returned in a particular column. And now, in this case, the ask is, don't show them that column at all.
Okay.
So, that's the ask from the lady this time around.
Okay, so let's elaborate on the answers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there is only one answer. It's like the Highlander. Over offensive and action-based films are available to watch, folks.
Yes.
There can only be one.
Yes. And there will be another one, I think, this year or next year. But anyway, we are moving from the topic. Anyway, so okay, let's have a look. So answer A is column level security. What are your feelings about column level security, Kevin?
How can I say this without giving too much away here? So column level security is exactly how it sounds, and it allows you to grant or deny people access to certain columns in data warehouse tables. Now, the lady has asked us to only give permissions for certain people to view the medical history column. So, if we work with column level security, this will actually do that. So this is the answer to the question. However, for completeness, we shall go through the three other answers as well. So dynamic data masking, as we just previously explained as well, this will hide certain characters that are returned in columns when you run a select statement, depending on how it's been configured. This, you will still be able to view the columns, you just won't see fully the data depending on what's being configured in the functions.
And how about row level security?
Well, that again is exactly how it sounds. So this is where you can configure for people to only see certain rows. So whereas the correct answer in this case allowed you to view certain columns, this is allowing you to view certain rows. And this is great for example, you can carry this all the way through the Power BI visualizations as well. So people that go through, they have the row level security in place, and they will just see the data that's applicable to them.
And this is a cool thing to do something like this, because this prevents that you will build the same report over and over again, but with different filtering, right? So this is something you see sometimes in the real world, right? You see there are like 10 reports. It's always the same report, but it's all of these 10 different reports are filtered by for example, sales region or something like this, right? Where you could do this easily in one report and then use the row level security to filter out the sales regions for the different sales representatives, right? And as said in one of our other episodes, it's always a good thing to have only one report, because if you want to do some changes, then you only have to change one report and not 10 reports. Sorry. So row level security is not right as well. So let's cover the last one, which is about workspace roles. So Kevin, can you tell us about workspace roles?
Sure. So these basically influence your permissions inside the workspaces itself. It doesn't affect the granularity of what you can view in data warehouses. So this is at a higher level. This is at the workspace level. So this would not be a good answer for this particular question. And there's 4 main workspace roles. So make sure you're up to speed with what you can do with those 4 different roles before you look to take the exam. So to summarize, for column access in data warehouses, you need to work with column level security.
Yeah.
Make sure you go, everybody, through the recommended Microsoft Learn material for data warehouses, because it covers the topics of column row level security and dynamic data masking in detail. Obviously, the general Fabric material will cover about workspace roles, so make sure you understand what these different layers effectively of security does before you go to do the exam.
And maybe one thing I would like to add here as well is what you should do always is you should, in a very calm mind, read the question and then read the answers, because I think this is a good candidate for just confusing column and rows, right?
Yeah.
So and we don't want to do this. Do you have any additional thoughts to this question, Kevin?
I think I shared my main thoughts on this topic, to be honest with you.
I don't like column level security too much, because the thing is, if you use column level security and if you use it, for example, in Power BI reports and certain person doesn't have access to this column, the Power BI report, if you have a visual, the Power BI report will just show that this visual will not work or something like this. And this looks more or less like a technical error. It is not, because you cannot access this column, but it looks like something is broken in the Power BI report. So I would highly advise, if you do something like this, maybe think about some special thing on the Power BI report or something like this, so you don't show Power BI reports to your users which look like they were broken.
Yeah, but this is probably something relating to, dynamic visualizations and Power BI, etc.
Exactly.
And it's part of, again, something that could be a part of an entire session relating to working with data modeling, Power BI, etc.
Exactly. But we don't do this here right now. Maybe another time, but not this time. So, thank you very much for all your insights, Kevin. And I think this is it for this session or for this episode. So thanks to all of our listeners for listening to this, and I hope to see you in the next episode. And remember, always there is some security out there, right? Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Bye.